Right. Right. Nope. There we So, so stupid. I have so many problems with that as a poli sci major, right? I, that is going to destroy anybody's legal protections. Like honestly, that's kind of the funny thing is Democrats can whine all day long about how much they hate Elon, they hate Bezos, they wouldn't support these two idiots for the life of them. But right. That's exactly it. Is if they didn't support these people, they didn't want them in power, then why structure their policies around in placing these people in power? So, Alistair, you're gonna love this. Okay, so I literally just opened up my phone. The first thing I see is a message from one of my closest friends, and they ask me, "How do you cope with the fact that Trump is ruining America on so many levels? LOL, I keep seeing stuff on the internet that's like wild as fuck. Cannot even grasp possible type stuff. LOL." It's just like these a lot of Americans are coming to the realization that what is happening is not in the interest of them. And most people are going to become antagonistic towards Trump and towards this two-party dictatorship that America exists under. This is the time and era where us throwing out ideas is the most influential thing that we can do. And honestly, what is the coping that we do? We don't cope. We get organized, right? And being right. It's not a matter of coping. It's a matter of accepting reality for its material conditions. The way that it is shaped materially and understanding that and just accepting that is how we move forward. Yeah. Good, good. Let him block you. Let him block you. The people like Haas, you'll never be able to appeal to them because at the end of the day, they are just not coinciding with working class interests. He's not out to really even establish a full developed proletarian movement because he can't. All he can do is try to LARP as a Marxist and continue to spread anti working class rhetoric because that's what he does. He's And honestly, I think right now, if you are actually looking to make meaningful impact, the best thing you can do is do substantive organizing in your community. The more local work you do, the greater influence that you will the greater chance that you will have to make an influence. And that's just real right there. That's the thing with these. Right, right, and you wanna know something? You wanna know something? How many of these popular live streamers, all of these entertainers, how many of them were doing local organizing stuff before they became mainstream on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on whatever, right? How many of them were actually doing legitimate local political actions? None of them. They only made substantial change after they became an entertainer, and that's the issue. They're out of touch with the working class. Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct on that matter, right? And that's the thing is it's how do you capture the audience? It's how do you capture people? How do you appeal to them? Most people today. Right, right, right. I think engaging in passive politics doesn't mean though that you necessarily have to be outside of it, right? Because you could be I've known many pacifists throughout my life, and a lot of them still hold pretty strong opinions on a lot of stuff. They are just very passive in the way that they go about addressing them. Exactly, that is true. Um, you that would I couldn't take that serious by the end of it, I really didn't. Is that is that anti-Zionist library, is that still up? I don't know if it is, I think I left it. Did I? It was oh. Okay, hold on, let's see. Everything's very glitchy right now because I'm doing so many streamings at once. Yeah, they are. I don't remember exactly what it contained a lot of text from, oh, yeah, no, I'm still in it, I'm still in it, okay. Let's see what's in here. Well, that's interesting. Let me just, copy copy image. Go back here, go back here, go back there, bam, bam. Oh, yeah, and, it's funny because they were all like, "Oh, he's not actually gonna go through with it. It's all so large." Because no none of the conservatives were trying to take that serious. They all tried to, like, pass it by as Trump just trying to scare off Democrats and scare off progressives, but today we are seeing it happen, and today it's funny as you watch their faces as they recognize and they go, "Oh, I wouldn't have voted for him if I knew. I wouldn't have voted for him if he did this." It's so funny. And now I'm laughing at all the union busters that Trump's going around creating. I think we wait it out. I honestly think that we just wait it out, let it crash itself, and the time will come, right? We already know that by the end of Trump's presidency, cultural conservatism is going to have a massive blowback. That is going to be when we are going to have a moment of redemption, a moment of actual substance and growth. But that's not going to happen right now. We're in a period of where we have no influence. We have nothing that we can fundamentally do to change the directional path of the United States. So true. I'm honestly just going through and oh my god, I almost said Instagram. My mind is not there right now. I'm just honestly going through Twitter right now, seeing what these people have been saying, what people have been posting. Uh, yeah. Around the same time, I thought the same thing. During Biden's term, the MAGA movement only grew, not shrink. There's some hope. 6 ways Amazon investments are helping the U.S. economy from contributing. This is funny. This is funny. You guys, look at this bullshit. Such a LARP. I just look at this bullshit that I just posted. Hold up, I'm gonna read through this because I want to see just how many lies they're trying to twist. You guys see? Did you guys see Greenland's response? Oh, yeah, Nero. I think too, right? What's gonna end up happening, and I do believe that in some way, I don't think that NATO is going to be able to exist after this presidency. I think that if it exists, it's going to be a very shattered organization, very shattered alliance pact. I want to see if he's actually going to go through with what he's been talking about with leaving NATO. If he leaves NATO, I think that just might end up screwing them over even more because that's going to give China the ability to go in and be the saving grace of all those nations in Europe. Abso-freaking-lutely. That's been their whole thing. That's it. The Democrats have always been the front line of the international bourgeoisie, and that's just an understanding of the historical phenomenon of the ruling class. And I'll be honest about it any day of the week. I didn't vote for him, okay? I can never bring myself to even put a check mark on a ballot for that man, okay? Despite my views on my understanding of how flawed the electoral system is, and I knew that even if I voted for him, it wouldn't matter, right? He was gonna win either way, I knew this. But that's mainly because I've been studying the electoralism for the past year. That's been one of my biggest things through my political science, classes, and by understanding this, right, I knew right away that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's a flawed globalist. He's not even a globalist. He's primarily an isolationist, a nationalist, and that is where domestic capitalism is going to be his strong suit. And as long as he tries to pretend like he can actually do global relations, continues to mess those up, continues to break them apart, he's going to have nothing to stand on. They're celebrating their own collapse. We haven't. The fact is, right. And the fact is, America hasn't had a primarily domestic production economy since the 1960s. That all changed as soon as the space race occurred, right? Because what did America primarily focus on? It primarily focused on finance and banking capital. Well, that also has to go into the exact goals of the U.S. during the entire Cold War, right? Understanding that process of American development and understanding that time, you realize America for the entirety of the 21st century has been a service economy. So let me ask you this. I actually got banned or I got kicked from Captain Barbosa's Discord server earlier today because I was talking with somebody over the Trump presidency and why I don't think he's going to fix the economy. And I actually got into talking about this exact topic that he's not going to go against the interest of his cabinet. He has the wealthiest cabinet in US history as of today. The literally the wealthiest, most dangerous, most antagonistic capitalist in all of capitalist history is now leading the deep state. And they were trying to tell me, oh, well, it wouldn't matter because Trump's going to end up having all the taxes occur on the 401ks and the Indians that are coming over. And it's funny to me because he thinks that people are thinking that these Indians that are going to be coming over are just going to be average working class Indians. No, they're not. And actually, they're being paid by their government to come over here and actually learn and work and take these technical careers and continue to displace American workers. And that was my whole argument, was that if technical jobs are being taken from American workers, then there is no room for the American working class to develop itself. If we're just going to give American workers these low paying jobs that immigrants have been filling in because we want to incentivize a better standard of living for the working class, then we have to capitalize as a working class on these technical job careers. That's not going to happen under a Trump presidency. It's really not. I mean, hell, I can look at countless posts here, actually. Guarantee you, if I just scroll through Twitter for like 20 minutes, I'm going to end up finding multiple posts about how people feel about the American working class. No doubt in my mind. Perfect example. Perfect example. Okay, hold on. Look at this. It's shared. Say that again. Oh, yeah, no, it's just an ad, it's just an ad, but I thought it was funny because we were just talking about the working class, right? And I think it's funny how there's even ads on Twitter promoting people, like, promoting these kind of ideas that the working class is a fucking LARP, right? The whole point of this ad is just control your AI, don't let it control you. So it's trying to hinder to the development of the working class. I'm sorry, but as a working class member, I feel like we should be aiming to improve our understanding of AI. And So what if AI controls a couple aspects of our working experience? Make it easier on us. Lift some of those responsibilities so that we can actually create more self-determination hours. That is the whole goal of extending and producing and developing one's own labor, is so that they can eventually reach that stage of development within their own self to have self-determination. I just, there's the little upload thing. There's a little share button. You share, and then it's just go to share to space. Okay, okay, so at the very bottom right corner of a post, there's a little bracket with an arrow on it. Click on that. Oh, you don't it doesn't say share to space? Oh, that's so strange. I have a send via direct message, share add via copy link to add and share to space. That's so weird. I don't know. So weird. Democrats don't pass legislation. I don't vote for Democrats. Democrats don't have enough votes. Democrats don't pass my legislation. Okay, that's kind of a funny rotation. I like that one. Well, yeah, that kinda also, again, shows the disconnect, the refusal of the Democrats to address their voter basis and their concerns. Const large number of illegal criminals were allowed to live in Colombia. This order related by Colombia's Socialist President Gustavo Petro. People trust these rights and nations. Well, I'm not an anarchist really anymore, so I don't really agree with that post. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just saw this post. It says capitalism has failed, state socialism has failed. It's time for a third way. And then it has an anarcho-communist symbol right next to it. I'm like, what the, I don't really agree with that. That's, that's kind of the only thing that's really hindering those who of the working class who are becoming more class oriented. They're kind of they're kind of formulating resentment towards any sort of system as a whole. And this creates people going down the anarchist kind of cope path where you are very unscientific. You actually don't formulate a process that is achievable. You become out of touch with your material situations. And it's kind of a dangerous path to go down. And this isn't even me just shitting on anarchism because I do find there to be some good aspects of anarchism. Anarchism has its good things where they're good, but it also has its bad negative connotations, and that's kind of what is going to possibly be something that we're going to have to address as a broader left. And then all these people are posting about the Nordic and like social democratic models in Europe, and just like, yeah, they're better, but They're only better on a temporary circumstance. I think I need to reload my Twitter page. I'm seeing too much ACP shit now. No, 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 no. I'm seeing too much Trump shit. LOL, Red Note is absolutely wild. I heard that 8 out of 10 people in the Communist Party of America are from the FBI. You must be very difficult. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it's unsustainable. It's these energy sources won't last. Climate change is going to bite them in the ass. They're going to have to consolidate to it eventually, or they're going to be completely fucked as a movement. And that's just reality for them. Because here's the interesting thing, right? Is if we continue to drill into the largest oil supply in the world, by the way, which sits in Alaska, okay? What do you think is going to happen once all this fuel is ran through, once all the ozone layers are completely tore apart through Texas, Florida, the deep south of the U.S. Once pollution starts completely taking over, once the southern half of the United States freezes over and the other is having a kind of summer solstice event where it's really hot in New York and Maine and people are starting to die from droughts and that just I'm gonna be laughing my ass caps melt. Like, okay, I'm actually really glad. I'm actually really happy with Denmark's response to Trump wanting to buy Greenland because the tragedy of what that would what would end up happening if he bought Greenland, the amount of destruction for climate change that would occur is it's uncomprehendable. I don't want to think about it. I'm honest. I'm honestly surprised that my state isn't underwater right now. That even the area that I'm in my state isn't underwater right now. True. We're already starting to see massive changes in the La Nino and El and the La Nina and El Nino phenomenons. We're already starting to see effects of those. Just the degree of how temperatures are changing within these heat waves. It's crazy. Also, what's really interesting is have you looked at the map? Like, have you looked at a recent map of the cold fronts and uh, heat and heat waves that occur within the American like country? There's a massive dip occurring right now with the natural flow of the cold front, where 20 years ago, it used to do this kind of like wavy little up and down across the entire state, wavy what, and it kind of did a more like the up and down kind of curved along the southern states. Now we're seeing it kind of go straight, more straight. There's still a little bit of waves, but it's more straight, not necessarily curved and back up. But now we're seeing a massive dip. That dip goes from that dip kind of like pencils down into Texas, and now it spikes over into the other southern states, which is interesting. Let me see if I can find a map of it. Cold front. Yeah. So this You have a good night too. So yeah, I think that's going to conclude the stream for today. Um Honestly, I just want to kind of throw some things out there. We are making a bit of progress as a small kind of group as we are growing. I do see that. And I have some agreements and disagreements with Alistair. I think I'm going to still hold to my goal of becoming more aware and politically active within these hemispheres. I do find that some rooting of gaining attraction, of appealing to people, of spreading these ideas, we have the tools at our disposal. Using this stream, using my current media collective, writing my articles, and furthermore going on Discord, Twitter, right, and expanding out to other communities and other socialist and Marxist projects. This is what we need to do as Marxists to spread ideas. We are a political minority, and understanding that is the key to building up a proper agenda. We have a lot of these entertainment and entertainers, which their primary agendas have always been on the entertainment campaigns, right? Their whole thing is being YouTubers and trying to appeal to people through entertainment, while not actually having a substantive change and methods of how to deal with real world political activities. So the biggest thing as Marxist, leftist, socialist, and communist, right, is to expand on these by doing local activism, local organizing, making political changes, unionizing as much as we can, spreading the word, getting local study groups set up, and then once you have a material basis in your own local political hemisphere, use these internet tools, use the tools that you have on the massive scale of equipment to your disposal, and then you will properly have a format to expand on these ideas. But yeah, I mean, I think things like the current wage crisis in America, housing crisis, the issues with the privatization of firms and lawyers and fire departments and emergency responders. I think all of these will be topics that we express on and talk about more as a small group. And I encourage everybody to stay tuned, and even if you want to send a recommendation of any concerns that you have that we can address and talk about, I would be willing to. And yeah, honestly, this is just what we need to do. This is why we are here. I'm not looking to become a number one YouTuber. I'm not trying to boom on the internet because I know that I'll never become as popular as, let's say, for example, One Dime Radio. But I still put in effort because that's the key. Doing things in the process of trying to feel like or achieve some value of what you do, of the work that you put in, that is a material connection that you are making with what you are doing, with the work that you are producing. That is a primary agenda, trying to reconnect people with their conditions. America, on a vast majority, whether left or right, whether Democrat or Republican, no matter what your political system or ideology or ideals are, as a working class, one thing we all have in common for the vast majority of us is a disconnect to the relation of our labor. This is going to be something that will be addressed slowly over time. But it's not going to come easy. We are on a road, a steady road, watching everything go down the path that it's going to go. It's only going to come out of the failures of the current conservative agenda in which we can actually make substantial change. But again, right now, we are not in the position to where we are going to make that change overnight. The revolution is on the horizon, but what that means is that the revolution is in the process of occurring. It's a process that occurs over a span of time, of conditions worsening to a point of class conscious rising in a totality that eventually leads to the working class seizing the means of production through the forceful overtake of the ruling class, disposing the capitalist of their capital, removing the systemic justifications of modern imperialism, and so forth. But again, forming an ACP, an American Communist Party, trying to get involved with the CPUSA, Communist Party, United States of America, the DSA, Democratic Socialist of America, PSL, Party for Social and Liberation, right? Getting involved with those parties means nothing today. Why is that? Because despite the ACP being a bunch of fed ops, being the frauds that they are, the conservatives, the cultural conservatives that they are, and just being full-hearted Trump supporters, the one thing that we can all come to understand is that none of these parties hold a proper format to make any sort of electoral processes within this two-party dictatorial system that we live under. And that's okay to recognize. We are seeing a coinciding of Democrats and Republicans across the board that is going to lead cultural conservatism into the ground. We just have to wait. And that's it. So yeah, thank you guys, and I will probably be streaming tomorrow sometime. If not, I will try for later this week. But thank you. I will try to cut back on doing them every day because I will give people time to actually watch them, because I know right now, again, I'm not popular, so these videos will only be watched over slow periods of time, which I understand. But yeah, with that all being said, thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have a wonderful day and stay safe.